Hi everyone, this is Keith from Investment Modes. I know I haven't been doing some of these videos for a while, but I still see that there's still the odd few here and there who subscribe to my videos, so I'm quite thankful for that. So as I look at the second half of 2024, I think I have more time to do some of these videos. And some of these videos, I think I'll try to be dedicated to actually release on YouTube without releasing on my blog, investmentmodes.com. And I think where better to start than to continue where we left off and to talk more about income planning for Singaporeans. And today's question is more of a question regarding this income spending system that I've talked about in the past, called the Safe Withdrawal Rate, or the SWR for short. So there are some questions regarding, like, based on the assumptions that is put in place for this spending income framework, and whether it will work if, let's say, you would like a different kind of asset allocations for your portfolio, and if you wish for a different kind of income needs, such as if you need it for longer. Some of us who aspire to be financially independent, we might have a longer tenor of income needs. So does this work for that? So we'll try to explore this topic today. The short answer is yes, it can be adaptable, but let's see how we can this framework is flexible enough to actually accommodate that. So but before that, we got to take a step back to think about, like, why are you interested in this safe withdrawal rate framework, or any of these framework in the first place. And one of the key reasons is that you have this income needs that you're looking for. So this is a good model how it looks like visually. You have this capital that you have built up over time, and you would like to spend from this portfolio to have this income stream itself, and you want this income stream to last for long enough until the end of your income needs. And for a lot of us, it is before is sometimes after we pass away. So there's a period of spending. There's a unique income needs itself, and therefore this is what makes this income problems quite unique. And I think almost all of us are interested in trying to figure this out. And one of the income framework that I trust more is actually the safe withdrawal rate framework. So in the past, I did a video explaining the 4% safe withdrawal rate, which is one of the most prevalently safe withdrawal rate that is put out there. I created that video because I realized that there's a lot of misconception about what is it about. So I'll link in the description below. And today I won't explain so much, but generally this safe withdrawal rate, it boils down to a certain percentage figure, and this percentage figure is a very nice rule of thumb to help you figure out these three questions together. And this question is how much you can spend during this income needs period, and how long would your money last during this income needs period. And I think preferably is that if you are looking for it to last for 50 years, and then this is how long it lasts. And during this period, what is the strategy, the portfolio strategy to use? What kind of asset allocation do you need to be in? And what this framework actually boils down to is this certain very simple percentage figure. And as stated, what is actually derived is actually this 4% safe withdrawal rate, which we're going to explore later, whether it is really like 4%. Okay, so a very good example will be something like this, taken from my last presentation on the safe withdrawal rate. You can imagine that Keith requires, he has $4 million, and he wonders like how much he can spend, how long his income will last, and what is his asset allocation. So with this, let's say a 4% safe withdrawal rate, you can figure out like what is the starting income needs. So income available for spending will be like 4 million times 4%, which is 160,000 a year. Okay, and based on the research, this income will last for about 25 25 years. And the asset allocation used in this framework mainly is 50% diversified equity and 50% diversified fixed income portfolio itself. Now, to be clear, inside, if you look at the actual paper, they actually went through, Mr. Bengen actually went through a few different allocations. But in the end, like, I think this was actually the most cited allocation itself. And it's very nice that if you have this 4%, you know the income, and this income is actually inflation adjusted based on the prevailing inflation rate, and you will know like roughly what's the tenor that it will last, and so this will help a lot in your planning. But with this one, it also brings up certain questions like, what if actually I need it longer? What if, let's say, my asset allocation is different? So would this still work or not? So before we look at this table, right? The answer to that is that I think there's limitation in what Mr. Bengen actually went through in the 1990s. But shortly after that, he also put out further articles, further research to actually build on that. And not just him, a lot of people also build on this itself. So it kind of becomes a framework. And when we say a framework, it means that he sort of gives us a certain idea how we go about doing this rigorous test and what is the outcome of this. So with that in mind, right, it helps us in that we can actually go through this framework and then determine that for different tenors and different kind of income needs, right, what's the safe withdrawal rate that we can use. So over here, you can see a table that I think I also show it in my last presentation, but I think we can spend more time on it. Okay, the first column shows the initial safe withdrawal rate, and this will be the rates that is like kind of similar to this one. So if you look at this one, let's say this is 3%. So instead of using 4% over here, we're using 3% out of this 4 million to determine what is the income. And you can see there's different rates over here. And for these different rates, right, it's applicable for different kind of income needs. Whether it's if it's less than 10 years, 10 years to 20 years, 40 years to 60 years, or even if you wish for this to be perpetual, okay? And I give some examples on the last column, like say for example, if you have a 1 million portfolio, what kind of income are you looking to start? So one clear thing that you can see from this one is that, like over here, the tenor of the income needs, as it goes down, it becomes higher and higher until perpetual. And what you'll notice is that the safe withdrawal rate will be dropping from 7% to below 2.5%, which basically tells you that, hey, if you require the income to last long, okay, then the safe withdrawal rate that you actually start with to actually figure out how much is your income and the capital that you require is lower. Okay. Now, why would people need about 60 years or to perpetual? You can imagine someone who sold off their business at about 30 years old, right? Logically speaking, he might have about 60 years of lifespan left, and even for himself, he might want to plan for generational wealth, which means that this money to last not just for him, but also for his children and his children's children. Okay, so if this is the questions that he would like to answer on, right? How much capital should he have? If let's say if his income needs is about 200,000 a year or 300,000 a year, you can work backwards. You take this 300,000 divided by 2.5%, and you work out with a certain figures over here. So this is so how do we derive this figure? Simply, I think we do the same thing as what Mr. Bengen did in his research. We take a look at the history of US with its unique inflation, a lot of different inflation rates over, let's say, 60 years or 70 years or 50 years. And each of them, they will have different kind of market returns depending on your different equities and bond allocations. And you will be able to kind of work this out. Okay? So as more and more people work on this, we can have a certain table like this. So this is actually taken from this very nice blog on this retirement income planning called Early Retirement Now. So the owner of that blog is called Carsten, and he actually showed this table, and with the data from the US from 1871 to 2016, right? There's a lot of 30-year, 40-year, 50-year, and 60-year sequence. So over here, you can see on the left-hand side that going down, there's different kind of stocks allocation from 100% to 0% stocks allocation. Okay, and then next to it, you can see different duration of how long you need the income, whether it's 30 years, to 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. You'll keep repeating. And over here on the horizontal side is different kind of safe withdrawal rate from 3% to 5%. And this table will tell you that like what's the success rate for the income to last for this allocation, for this duration, if let's say your safe withdrawal rate is, let's say, 4% itself. Okay? And what you'll notice is if it's 100%, that means that from this period, 1871 to 2016, if let's take the first cell as an example, it means that there are a lot of 30-year periods over here. And if your allocation is 100% stocks one, right? If you start with, let's say, 3%, which means that if you have a $1 million portfolio, you start with 30,000, and every subsequent year you adjust by the inflation, the prevailing inflation for that sequence one, right? There's probably like about, if my math is right, about 90 unique 30-year sequence within them, and 100% all of them will last. So it kind of shows how robust it is, because over the past, this is like how long, about 150 years. 150 years, there's a lot of things happening, and this portfolio would 100% equity portfolio. If you're spending so little as 3% of the portfolio, it will last. And if we go, a lot of people like this 5% figure, because if you have 1 million, if you spend 50,000, that's kind of a nice figure. Some people figure out that if they can get the dividends of that much, how you'll do. And you can kind of look at this figure to give you a certain sensing that, hey, it's not saying that if you live through with this plan, it will not work. It will work, but if you're unlucky, there are certain kind of scenarios, especially those high inflationary scenarios or very deflationary scenarios, where it won't work. Okay, and this is the part where it's kind of red in color. You can see this 7%. If you wish this money to last for 60 years, and then all of your money is inside fixed income, and you decide to spend 5% of it, right? There's probably, out of all the unique 60-year sequence, only about 7% of them you'll be successful, which means that there's really not a lot of safety if your plan is a 0% stocks and 60 years kind of situation. Now, so if there's a lot of my friends who envision that they want to be in a 100% equity portfolio, this is where you're supposed to look at. Okay, there's different duration. Some of you probably you want the money to last 50, 60 years. These two roles are the ones that you're supposed to take a look. And what you'll notice is that if let's say you keep, let's say, a safe withdrawal rate closer to, let's say, 3.5% or so on, right? It's kind of relatively safe. But also that if you don't have to be in 100% equity portfolio, look at the 70% or the 50% one, they look just as good. So if there's some takeaways from this one is that if you want a plan that leans more towards a robust one, you're probably looking at somewhere close to 3 to 3.5%. Now note, this is when the customer is doing this data run, there's no cost within it. So if let's say your average portfolio cost is about 0.5%, you probably have to adjust the figure a bit, which means that if your cost is about 0.5% per year, which is usually my assumption, then you should go lower from 3 minus 0.5%, which is 2.5%. 3.5% minus 0.5% is about 3%. So you have to kind of adjust that yourself. Okay? Now, if that, he also provides another table. If let's say if you wish to be in capital preservation mode, now a lot of you like the idea to not run out of money because basically you don't want to die with zero lah. It's the opposite of Bill Perkins' book. And with this safe withdrawal framework run, right, you could also calculate in such a way that to see whether if you want to preserve the value of your portfolio in real terms, one, right, what kind of allocations and what kind of safe withdrawal rate should you be closer to. And so this is a part that I extracted from it. If you look at this one, 1.00 times initial, right, it's kind of like showing that if your initial portfolio is $1 million, 1.0 times 1, it means that at the end of this period, whether you're testing it 30 years or 60 years one, right, you spend the money, and yet at the end, right, you still have this $1 million in real terms, which means that this will achieve what you want, which is you preserve the income and yet have something to spend. So it's not like if a strategy that sells the units, it doesn't preserve the capital value. You just have to do it in a sensible manner, and the sensible manner is to start with a low enough income, and you can see that, okay, if it's 100% equity allocations, right, like whether it's 3 to 3.5%, the probability is high. If it's 96%, it means that I think there is like one or two very challenging scenarios it still doesn't cover. Okay, but it is still more. If your plan is planning, let's say $1 million, you're starting with 30,000 or 35,000. It is a much safer plan than if, let's say, you're starting with $47,000 or $50,000. Okay, hopefully that helps. So I come to the end of this presentation, and if you have any questions on this, please leave in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay.